So whether you're, a brand new agent or you've been in this business a while and you've not hit the goals that you're looking to hit, there's really 4 things that as an agent you need to figure out in order to scale your business. So the first thing that I see, and this is the thing that probably matters the most, there's the 3 other things they all dictate based off your outlook or having a long-term outlook on your business. If you want to make the quick money, you want to get rich quick, go sell solar, go sell life insurance, go sell roofing, go sell, pest control door to door, something like that. That is that quick money. The only problem with that is there's no recurring, right? Like, why do we get into the Medicare business? We get into the Medicare business or the health insurance business or just a residual paying product as a whole. We get into the business because we think that if we work 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that after 20 years, the money will come in every single month and we don't have to work anymore. And so that's why we do it. So if you don't have a long-term outlook or a grinder mentality of a 3 or 5 or 8 year time horizon rather than a 90-day time horizon, the Medicare business is just not for you. It's not one of those things where you'll pull $250,000 of net income first year. I guess it could be possible. It's just I don't want to set that expectation for people. You see, like if you look at my income and I started out on the life side, so take that into this equation. My income went from first year is and these are all top line numbers, just so you guys know. This is all gross revenue, not net. And I'm a big spender. I spend a ton of money, whether it was on my personal leads or whether it was on like my business now, I spend a ton of money. And so just know these are gross numbers. Don't compare it to yourself because, a lot of it, isn't profit. So the first year, I think top line was about 185. That was selling life insurance, mortgage protection, going all over the place, driving, sitting down with people face to face. Second year was 360. So almost doubled, doing pretty well. Then 2 years ago was about 580 or 590, somewhere in there top line. And then actually last year we did about 1.9 million of top line revenue. This year we're trending for about 4 to 4.2 million, hopefully hitting 4.5 to 5, but we're trending for about 4.2 to 4.5. But if I would, like my first year, I probably spent 75% of my gross income on expenses. And so I probably netted out like 50,000. And if I didn't have a long-term outlook to get to the point when, the top line is 550 or maybe it's 1.9 or 4 million, like I just would have quit and I would have went and sold the things that are quick money, the solars, the roofing, the pest control, whatever it might be. There's plenty of things that you can go out there and make a lot of money. If you don't have the long-term outlook to get over the hard part of the business, you should just go do something else. So the second thing that I think you need, and this is what I think. This is not foolproof for everyone. This is if you want to plug into a system, something that goes fast. I'm always a guy, I want to go fast. I want to say, how quickly can we do this? What's our speed? How fast can we go? I don't want to wait. There's other systems that work though too for depending on what your goals are as a producer. If you want to go out and you don't want to spend any money on marketing, go do grassroots or go do referral networking, that's great. It's just not how I did it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying here's what I think, right? So the second thing is a client acquisition system, right? It's one thing to like go get a lead and sell that lead, but if you can't do it duplicatable and you can't do it over and over and over again, it doesn't matter. And so if you don't have a system, you don't have a way of saying, hey, if I spend this much on marketing, I'm going to get 40 clients. Or if I spend this much, I'm going to get 60 clients this month. If you don't have that, you either have to figure it out yourself or you have to find someone who can help you do that. So that would be maybe an FMO, maybe, something like we do. We help agents do that. Maybe it's an agency who has like that special sauce, even though I think that's kind of, I don't think that's true. I don't think there is a special sauce to this business. I think it's just finding something that works and then doing it over and over again. I don't know if anybody has the special sauce that you might be looking for, but maybe it's an FMO as a lead generation system, like say we do. Maybe it's a marketer, a marketing company out there, or maybe it's just yourself. Maybe you figured out how to do Facebook ads or YouTube ads or TikTok or whatever it might be, or maybe you're really good at the SEO, the organic of Google or YouTube or all those things. I mean, there's companies out there that specifically feed all their agents with YouTube organic, and it is super impressive, but you have to have a duplicatable system. If you don't have something that's going to scale, if you don't have something that again is hey, I'm going to put this much money in, I'm going to put this much effort in, and it's going to exactly equal this based off my skill level, based off my effort, You need to find that. And if you don't, you're going to struggle through this business, in my opinion. You're going to always be looking for clients. You're not going to know how to acquire. When you know how to acquire, this business gets really easy. It's just pulling levels up and down. Levers, I should say, right? Up and down. Where do we spend? Where do we retract? Where do we spend? How do we get better on the sales side? How do we add ancillary policies? How do we get life insurance? How do we keep that client forever? But that's because the system is already there. And if you don't have that, you have to find that if you want to scale to 5, 700, 1,000, 1,500 clients as that independent producer. The third thing goes hand in hand with this is a client retention system. Because why do we get into this business? We get into this business for the renewals. And I was talking to agents just this morning, and I said, hey, if your turnover is 20%, you have to rewrite your book of business every 5 years. Right? Because what's 20% times 5? It's 100%, meaning if you're losing 20% of your book of business every single year, you're going to be on the hamster wheel of Medicare. And many people think that when they get into Medicare, they come from life insurance, or they come from solar, or they come from not doing insurance at all, and they hear about these renewals. And they think, hey, if I just do Medicare, I will not be on the hamster wheel. I will build a residual book of business that will pay me forever, and I will not have to do anything. And that is somewhat true, but you have to have the retention systems in place, because if your book of business just falls off at a 20% rate every single year, you are going to be on the hamster wheel of Medicare. Trust me, it's not as bad as the life side. It's not as bad as solar, where you're going out and just having to sell something new every single day. There's high commissions, even like annuities, right? There's a lot of big time annuity producers out there. But even with that, if you're taking the front end comp on that, you're just going to have to keep working and working and working. And that's okay. I love working. But if you're in the Medicare business, you get into it for the renewals. And then the fourth piece is probably support, okay? So there's different kinds of support. Some people need that handheld. They need that support all the way from 0 clients to 500 clients, and that is okay. That is totally fine. Then there's the other person who uses what I would call as grit and Google, right? That when there's a problem, they just overcome it. They use the resources in front of them. They use a Google search. They use a YouTube search, and they just find the answers themselves. And nobody is right or wrong there. It's just who's going to go faster. The person who uses the resources in front of them. If you need your handheld the whole way, that's okay. But on both of those, you need support in the fact of, hey, this person's done this before, right? Like if your support is coming from someone who's never sold insurance before, if your support is coming from someone who's never had staff before, if your support is coming from someone who says, hey, this should work, it's not, hey, we've had 22 agents do this successfully, it will work for you as long as you do X, X, and X. If it's a should work, not a, hey, we know it works if you work, I think there's a problem there. And if you're trying to scale a business, you're trying to bring on staff, you're trying to increase revenue, and you're talking to someone who's never actually done that, who's never grown a business, who's never met payroll, who's never paid for Facebook ads or marketing or direct mail, if they've never done that, I think they're not qualified to teach you. If they've never gone from 0 to 1,200 clients in 4 years, or as an agency, we've gone to about 4,500 in 4 years. If they've never done that, I don't think they're qualified to train you, right? And so these are just the 4 things that I think it takes. Maybe wrong, maybe right, who knows? But these are the things that have helped me. So again, long-term outlook, you have to look at this business on a 5-year, a 10-year, a 15-year, a 20-year time horizon, or else you're going to get shiny penny syndrome. You're going to look at the next thing and you're going to say, hey, there's all these people on TikTok that are selling this one thing, the fidget spinners or whatever. I'll just go do that instead because Medicare is not making the money I want to make. You have to have the long-term outlook, or you will look around and you'll say, other people are making more money than I am. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. You just have to stick around. The client acquisition system, again, if you can't acquire clients effectively and efficiently and duplicatable, you're going to struggle in this business, or it's just going to be really slow. And I'm a guy who likes to go really, really fast. Then client retention, you have to retain. If you don't retain, You're just going to be on the hamster wheel of Medicare, like I said. So we as an agency, at least internally, we have a great retention system. We have about 98% persistency when it comes to Medicare policies, which is fantastic. And then support. Are you talking to someone who's done the deal, who's sold the policies, who's been in the houses, who's been on the phones, who's been making the phone calls with you? Do you have someone who's done it before that can teach you the ways, right? Because if that person has never, say, met payroll for 10 or 20 or 30 employees, how are they going to teach you the business strategies to get you there? I guess they could come up with some things, but I think I have learned so much from just doing things myself that I just think it has to come from experience rather than, say, a YouTube or a Google. Like, you use Google and YouTube on the front end to learn, and then you go do it yourself and you figure out what it's actually like. So these are just the 4 things that have worked for me. I hope they work for you, and I hope it brings massive success to your agency.